The Monaghan Asylum Soviet was the first multiple Irish Soviets during the Irish Revolutionary period. Now, there are many causes behind the Monaghan Asylum Soviet. For one, it was partially inspired by the Dublin lockout, which lasted from about mid-1913 to early 1914, where over 20,000 industrial workers striked and rallied over the right to unionize. However, the main inspiration for the Soviets across Ireland was rather unsurprisingly the October Revolution in Russia, which was in 1917. The Monaghan Asylum Soviet, as well as the following revolts, fall under the category of the left-wing revolutions from 1917 to 1923, which are all across of Europe. The Monaghan Asylum staff had already striked multiple times in the past, once in March 1918, in December 1918, and again in January of 1919. The main reasons behind the Soviet being established was for a shorter work week, a better pay, and a right to leave the asylum between shifts. 29th of January 1919, the asylum workers raised a red flag over the building and upon the arrival of police, rather oddly barricaded themselves inside of the asylum, continuing to work, pioneering the stay-in strike, as leaving patients alone could have been dangerous. The leader of the Monaghan Soviet was Donegal union organizer and IRA commander, later Cearta Peter O'Donnell, who had been leading strikes at the asylum since December 1918. He declared himself as acting governor and declared a 48-hour work week with immediate effect. He sacked the matron for insubordination, as well as locked up a staff member in a padded cell for defeatism. The police started negotiations on the first day of the Soviet, offering an increased pay for male workers. However, staff of both sexes continued their barricade, holding out for a better deal, and all this offer did was raise female workers' spirits and determination. It is said that the inmates also helped with the takeover of the asylum, going as far as swapping clothes with the strikers to facilitate the smuggling of supplies into the asylum. The Monaghan Asylum Soviet only lasted for 6 days, as on the 4th of February the police offered them a deal which the staff found acceptable, much to the dismay of O'Donnell. The case of the Monaghan Lunatic Asylum was brought up in the House of Commons on the 20th of February 1919. However, by then the strike was already over. Soviet was widely successful, with the employees being granted a 56-hour work week, which was more than they initially wanted. However, this was still a significant reduction from their original work weeks. The strike showed the levels of discontent towards the British rule in Ireland, as the workers were clearly overworked and were unhappy with the ways things were being run. Now, historians have debated that communism in Ireland was both something inevitable and something impossible. This is largely due to the large agricultural and exploited workforce. However, the Catholic nature of Irish nationalism would have never allowed communism to take place.